Hi everybody. So a lot of you have been asking me all about Supermodel of the Year and what the audition is like, and basically what are the steps, how was I contacted, and what do you have to do if you get asked for the audition. So I'm just going to take you through my journey a little bit, like how I got to know about the audition, what I wore, what kind of questions were asked, somewhat like approximately, what the whole thing was like, how long it took, and yes, what you can do about it and what are some tips that I learned. So stay tuned, and here we go with how to get involved in Supermodel of the Year. Alright, so starting with, how did I come to know about the audition? Well, basically I've been living in Mumbai now for the past maybe 4 years. So I knew that, okay, I need to have an agency. So I was already an established model by the time that MTV contacted me. I had an agency for about 2 years already. So a good thing about having an agency is that your agency will tell you when and where the audition is happening. So I would suggest for those of you who are really keen on Supermodel of the Year, try to have an agency in Mumbai, or at least make contacts in Mumbai so you come to know when the audition is happening. Because as a person who is starting from scratch without any contacts and you don't know who to contact or where to look, you won't come to know about the audition or how to, really make it count. So try to have an agency. And another thing I would like to tell you is when MTV contacted me, they contacted me on Instagram. And they saw a big work profile of all the fashion shows I've done, a lot of photo shoots, and they liked that about me. So I would say to you, like as somebody who's starting out, and if you want to be in Supermodel of the Year this year, please work on your modeling profile and make it stronger, because then you will have a better opportunity when reality shows like this come along and other big opportunities. So my agency did tell me that MTV was having a show last year, but I didn't really know any details so much, like the details were still coming. And then MTV messaged me on Instagram and they said, "Hi Anjali, we are having this show called Supermodel of the Year and would you like to be on it?" And I said, "Well, I only know about INTM, so I'll have to check, but thank you." So I went to my agency and I asked, "Hey, there's this show Supermodel and I don't know anything about it. What do you know? Is it good? Should I go?" And thankfully they knew. So they said, "Yes, Anjali, it's good, it's legit, you can go." So I'd like to tell you that always do a background check for whatever DMs you get, because you get random DMs and you don't know like which ones are actually true, which ones are not. So always do a background check. So I did my background check and then I wrote back to MTV and I said, "Yes, I'd like to be a part of it. Can we have a meeting?" So they said, "Okay, come and meet me." So by the way, I'm sitting here with my hair blowing like some superhero. It's the coronavirus quarantine. So I'm on my home and I'm just sitting in my garden, and yeah, my hair is blowing everywhere. But all right, I love nature, so okay, back to it. So MTV called me for a meeting, and I will make another video later showing you exactly what I wore and what you should wear for model castings. So basically I wore like a black spaghetti and some high-waisted jeans that were nicely fitting, and I had straightened my hair, made sure my hair was really neat. I did basic makeup like this, and I had this really white flowy jacket, but that was just my personality, and I went. So I ordered an Uber because I didn't want to take a rickshaw, even though the office was 5 minutes from my house. I was like, no, my makeup needs to look great, I'm gonna go in an Uber. So I booked my Uber, then my Uber was 10 minutes late. As usual, they're late when you really need them, but anyway. So yes, I booked my Uber, and then I asked the driver, "Do you have AC?" And he said, "No ma'am, my AC is broken." So I was like, great. And I was already almost late. So I said, let's just go. So the driver started driving. Then I remember like the bonnet of the car, the front, like halfway through the trip, smoke was coming out everywhere. And like smoke was filling the road. And I thought this car is going to explode. So I told them to slow down and just stop. And like as the car was coming to a stop, I just jumped out and went like 10 feet back. So that was my start into Supermodel of the Year. It was a really weird day. And when I got there for the meeting, I couldn't show it on my face. I was like, everything's good and I'm here and I'm ready. But yeah, my car had this like major breakdown and I thought it was going to explode, and everyone came to the car to see if we were okay, and it was terrible. Anyway, back to it. So I got to the office, I pretended like nothing happened and everything's cool. And I met the person who called me for the meeting, and he said, "Hi Anjali, it's so nice to meet you, and always give a great first impression, guys. Give a firm handshake, give eye contact, and be outgoing, be confident." So I was like, "Hi, how are you?" And he was like, "Great, so you're going to meet the director in 5 minutes." So I was like, okay. So I sat in the waiting room, I waited. Then the director walked in and he said, "Hi Anjali, so we're taking a video bite of each model coming in about yourself, your personality, your life, and anything about you." So he said, "I don't want you to look at me, look at the camera." So I looked into the camera just like this and was talking to it really confidently. I was cracking jokes, I was having fun, I was laughing. So the director saw that and he just kind of took notice. Basically, they want people who are confident or who have a great story. There has to be something unique about you. So don't copy someone else, don't copy me or somebody else and say, okay, I'm going to be like this. The only way you might make it into Supermodel of the Year is to have a really unique personality, a great story, and to be good at what you do. Because I'll tell you the truth, when I walked into the MTV office that day, just as I walked in, this girl walked out and oh my god, she was so gorgeous. She had green eyes, she had light hair, she was even fairer than me, and I'm not saying fair counts, but she looked amazing and she had a great body and everything about her was perfect. She just looked like maybe she had a problem speaking spontaneously and talking to the camera, but I mean that's just what I saw when I just looked at her. But she was so gorgeous and I thought, wow, there's so much competition, I have to be so focused and just give it my best. Because even if you think you're good, if you think you're tall, if you think you're pretty, there's 20 to 25 girls who are just as pretty as you. So what else are you bringing to the table? You need to think about that. So I saw this girl walk out and everything just dropped and I was like, okay, calm down. You're going to go in, you're going to give it your best and you're going to do your best and then you're not going to care after that. If you give your best, you're not going to care. So I went in and the director put his camera on and he said, "So Anjali, tell me about your life." So I said, "Well, sir, I was always really outgoing and when I was a kid, my dad used to perform sometimes as a singer. And I used to love watching him. And one day he was doing a function in front of 2,000 people. He was singing and he had a show. So I went to my dad and I said, 'Dad, can I sing with you?' And I was 5 years old. I was really tiny in this little red dress and we had these microphones with this cord attached. So my dad said, come on stage and sing with me." I got on stage, held the mic, then I looked at 2,000 people and I was like, what do I do? I just started singing. And imagine 2,000, the room went wild. And I stood there and this kind of electricity came through my body and I felt like I want to do this for the rest of my life. Look at how I can touch people's lives and how I can do something. So ever since that day, I was always really interested in performing and I told my mom, "Mom, I want to be a performer." So she told me, "Okay, you can do it on the side of your studies." So I used to dance, sing, act, all in school and college, everything like that. And when I came out of and I graduated, I told my mom, "Okay, Mom, now I want to try being a model. I'm at least going to try, and if I fail, I fail, but I'm going to try." So she said, "Sure, do it." So I came to Mumbai on my own and started looking for agencies. I had to work a second job. It was really difficult to manage both these things, but I finally started making it and started getting good work. So I told all this to the camera, but in more detail, in a more funny way. And the director was watching me. See, somebody's always watching you no matter what. So you have to really, put your best foot forward. So he was watching me and I was I was juggling 2 jobs. I had an office job, then I would put on my makeup for auditions after office and I'd run to Andheri by train and do my auditions. And finally I got an agency. Then since then I've done 20, 25, maybe 30 fashion shows for good brands and even walked for Manish Malhotra twice before Supermodel. So that's another thing about Supermodel of the Year last year. They took experienced models. So please, models and ladies out there, work on your modeling profile if you want to be on this show or any other shows or on TV or on camera. Please work on your profile every day. Work on yourself, work on your body, work on your skin. There's always something to do. Don't just land up at the audition and say, "Okay, let's do this." It's not going to work like that. So you have to work on yourself every single day. So I've been doing that, and then I got to the show and I was kind of ready. So yes, I had done a lot of fashion shows, my work profile was good. Then this meeting got over and the director thanked me. He said, "Thank you, Anjali." But I felt in my heart that something clicked and I did well. So I went home and I was happy and I just forgot about it. And then MTV messaged me a few days later and they were like, "Can you please send us your portfolio pictures and your ramp walk pictures?" So again, I had 20, 30 pictures to send to MTV. So that means I had a strong profile. So please work on your profile and make it strong. A lot of the girls last year, Drisha More, Priya Singh, Ashita Bajwa, and me, we all had good profiles. We were already models for about 3 years before the show. So again, they do take freshers. Like some of the other girls were new to the industry, but that again, they had a great face, they had a great story, there was something interesting and unique about them. So work on what is interesting and unique about you, and that gives you a better chance in front of that massive competition. All right, so that meeting got over. I went home, kept doing my thing. Then MTV called me a few days later. They said, can you come and meet two more of the people from the office? So I said, okay. Again, I dressed really well. I went there, always wear high heels. When you enter an office, when you exit an office, always be in your high heels. That is a #1 rule for any model. Okay, so I entered in my high heels. I met these two ladies. They were like, hi, Anjali. They don't show on their face if they like you or not. You just have to be yourself, be confident, always be smiling. Nobody's going to show on their face like, yes, I like her, we're taking her. They don't want to tell you that. So you just have to be confident anyway. And so yes, I met them. Again, I went home. Then maybe 2 weeks later, I was called to MTV office again. And they told me, okay, now we're going to ask you like a series of 30 questions. There was 2 of them sitting and they were just writing and typing like my answers. And they said, no, you just answer from your heart and you answer truthfully. So I'm not going to give you the exact questions they asked me because I don't know if that's allowed, but I can give you the kind of the gist of what kind of questions you might expect. So I was sitting there, I knew to be honest, to give an honest story, because you know what, if you're not honest, these people know how to tell when somebody's not being honest and they don't select you. So I just knew, be honest, be myself, and if they don't like it, it's fine. If they like it, it's also fine. So as a matter of fact, I am half German. I don't know Hindi pretty much at all. I just understand a little bit and can say a very little Hindi. So I told MTV on day 1, I said, I'd love to be on your show, but I don't speak Hindi. And that if it's a problem, it's okay. Like, I understand. And then I was confident on the camera and I spoke to it and I just gave my unique character and myself. And I think they liked that. So always be honest, even if you have a flaw, if something's wrong, if you're not sure of something, do be honest. At the same time, be confident. So yes, I went back for that meeting where I was going to be asked about 30 questions. I sat comfortably, I took my time, breathed, I answered slowly, everything was fine. So basically they asked questions like, what are your fears? What is your childhood like? What were your insecurities? What are your phobias? Are you scared of heights? Are you scared of water? Can you manage on a hectic time schedule? And basically things like that. Like, can you get along with other people? How do you handle rejection? So what is the saddest experience in your life? What is the happiest experience in your life? You just have to speak from your heart, and at the same time, don't lie. Be confident. Whatever you do, be confident. Speak from your heart. Give good content. If you have nothing to say, say, I don't know. Don't say random stuff. Okay, so I always brought like a little bit of humor to the table, and I think they really like that, but that's my personality. So work on your personality. Okay, so that meeting got over. I waited for another week and a half. Then there was the final meeting, and that time MTV messaged me. It was about 10 or 15 days before we filmed the show, and they said, Anjali, you're on the final shortlist list. Now come and you're going to meet the real people from the channel who are going to be filming you and putting you on national TV. So I said, okay. So I dressed nicely, I went, but I was wearing jeans and a top. Like, it was a nice top, but it was a top. And then I got there and a person told me in the office, they said, Anjali, go home, wear a nice dress and come back. Because these are big people and they're responsible for putting you on national TV. So you have to show them what you're going to look like on camera for the whole country to see. And I didn't think of that. So I quickly rushed home, wore a nice dress, put on my makeup, came back, and I made my makeup a little more glam. So I'm going to show you guys a glam makeup look and a casual makeup look in another video, so you can check that out. So I made my makeup a little more glam. I wore a nice dress, fixed my hair, and I went. And then there was like a rectangle table with about 10 to 15 people from the MTV channel sitting there. So this was a big meeting, and I knew you be confident or it's gone. So I sat there and I was confident. And the lady this time told me, now don't look at the camera, look at me and have a conversation. And they were filming it on that side of the room. So I said, okay. So she asked me similar questions like, what are your fears? What are your likes? What are your dislikes? Why would you want to win the supermodel badge? Do you think that you have what it takes? How competitive are you? So these were all questions I just answered from my heart, and I said, yes, I've been working for this for years, and I'm really committed to my work, and if I had the opportunity, I would really fight for it. And I said all those things to the camera. So somehow, thank God, they saw that spark in me. And I came to know later that I almost didn't get selected just because they thought I looked too typical, like a typical model. Basically, the show last year, they wanted people that were out of the box, like someone with a story, somebody with, a different figure or a different life story or something different. And I'm a model. So yes, I almost didn't make it into the show, but somebody said she has that spark, she has something, we should take her. So they took me into the show, and thank God they did, because I'm really happy, and it was one of the best experiences in my career till now. And yes, so that's my journey, and that is all the things that I experienced in the audition, in the meetings, all that you might have to prepare for this year. Now, in case they've changed anything this year, you have to be ready for anything. Even the questions, don't take the questions I said as what they're going to ask you, because I don't know what they're going to ask you. Just be confident, be yourself, work on your personality, work on speaking on mic, work on speaking on camera, work on the way you groom yourself, your body, your profile, because when you get there, then you will be ready. I don't know what questions they'll ask you, but you have to work on yourself, then you'll have the confidence to make it. So yes, best of luck into Supermodel of the Year Season 2. I'm giving you my story, and I hope that one of you watching this learns something and makes it this year. So yes, that's it. Have a great day. I'm gonna upload some videos on how to dress for a meeting or a casting and the kind of makeup you should wear. So I've hoped that you've learned from this all that you can, and keep working on yourself. Your profile, I'm always there. You can drop in the comments anything else you'd like to know. And my next video coming up will be about what was in my bag on Supermodel of the Year. So what were the items that really came in handy when I was on such a big shoot? So I will tell you a little bit about that, and I'm saying bye for now. This is Anjali signing out. Hope that this was great for you and you learned a lot. Bye!